Hey friends, Sean from SGT Report here with a very important update. And the precursor to that update is just a couple of new items from Q. This one, post 2731. Why hours after the election did 7 people travel to an undisclosed location to hold a very private and highly secured, guarded meeting? And why didn't Hillary Rodham Clinton give a concession speech? I think it's become very clear why that happened, thanks to Andrew McCabe. More on that in a second. And we'll dig deep into post 2736 from Q about Ruth Bader Ginsburg. But real quickly, the Great Awakening has gone global. Post 2741 from Q links to this tweet, a Where We Go One, We Go All ad in Jersey City, New Jersey, and this, a Q painted on the Scottish Parliament's front door. The Great Awakening, which President Trump also just made mention of, has indeed gone global, and it has the entrenched elite absolutely petrified. Now, before we get to the main event in this video, I want to thank our sponsor, the Patriot Flashlight. This Survivor Tactical Flashlight is solar powered and it lights up the darkness with 500 lumens that can be seen miles away. There's a life-saving emergency strobe along with 4 more unique lighting modes, and the Patriot Flashlight even has a USB port which allows you to charge your cell phone anywhere. Your Patriot Tactical Flashlight is also equipped with a compass, wire and rope cutter, and an emergency glass-breaking hammer. It's the perfect gift for you and your family. There is a limited supply of these tactical flashlights available right now, so get yours at a discount before they sell out. Use promo code SGT20 for 20% off. And purchase the best flashlight on the market at patriotflashlight.com. I'll leave the link below this video. And now for the main event. What does it mean to have a nation? How does one have a nation without a border? How does one have a nation without sovereignty? How does one have a nation when traitors in our midst want to destroy everything that makes a nation great? The enemies of our republic have made themselves known. Here's one, Adam Schiff, who is pressuring Facebook and other social media platforms to remove anti-vaccine information. Facebook says it will look into removing posts promoting conspiracy theories about vaccines following complaints from Representative Adam Schiff. The company told Bloomberg on Friday that it's exploring additional measures to best combat the problem of fake news and conspiracy theories being promoted on its site, which include numerous groups and message boards dedicated to spreading theories concerning a non-existent link between vaccines and autism. Friends, as I've covered in many videos in the past, the link between vaccines and autism has been established, and it is the government and Big Pharma that has worked hard to cover it up.
Dr. Zimmerman declined our interview request and referred us to his sworn affidavit. It says on June 15, 2007, he took aside the Department of Justice or DOJ lawyers he worked for defending vaccines in vaccine court. He told them that he discovered exceptions in which vaccinations could cause autism.
And here's another traitor, Andrew McCabe, whose full interview with 60 Minutes will air this coming Sunday night. But in the sneak peek, he openly admitted that he and a group of deep state insiders met privately to discuss ways to topple our president using the 25th Amendment.
The suspicions of many are confirmed by one of the players in it. The Department of Justice discussed trying to remove the president using the 25th Amendment. What's your reaction to that?
Well, if that's true, it is clearly an attempted coup d'etat.
A revelation about which President Trump tweeted, trying to use the 25th Amendment to try and circumvent the election is a despicable act of unconstitutional power grabbing, which happens in third world countries. You have to obey the law. This is an attack on our system and Constitution. And here's another traitor, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. If we can all agree that a mother and father are central to the well-being of their offspring, and that healthy families are central to the well-being of a society, and by extension, an entire nation, then we must agree that the destruction of the traditional roles of a father and mother, and the destruction of the family, will in turn lead to the destruction of society, and thereby an entire nation. And therefore we must agree that anyone behind the move to destroy the family and the nation is by very definition a traitor to that nation. Well, New Q on February 15th reminds us just how despicable Ruth Bader Ginsburg is. And Q urges us to remember her history and recall sex bias in the U.S. Code, published in 1977 by the U.S. Commission on Civil Rights, which called for the sex integration of prisons and reformatories so that conditions of imprisonment, security, and housing could be equal, arguing that the perpetuation of single-sex institutions should be rejected. This is the same woman who in the same book called for the sex integration of the Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts because they perpetuate stereotyped sex roles. And she insisted on sex integrating college fraternity and sorority chapters and replacing them with college social societies. This evil woman cast constitutional doubt on the legality of Mother's Day and Father's Day as separate holidays. And she actually called for reducing the age of consent for sexual acts to people who are less than 12 years old, on page 102. This traitor to families, and therefore traitor to our nation, asserted that laws against bigamists, persons cohabitating with more than one woman, and women cohabitating with the bigamist are unconstitutional. And if you wonder why these people continue to push for open borders and don't applaud at the State of the Union when President Trump announces the arrest of human traffickers.
And more than 1,500 sadistic traffickers have been put behind bars.
Ginsburg wrote that the Mann Act, which punishes those who engage in interstate sex traffic of women and girls, is quote-unquote offensive, and said such acts should be considered within the zone of privacy. You can't make this up, and perhaps this is why Q has said these people are pure evil. And here's the part that will help you understand how the left has gone so mad as to now openly, brazenly blur the lines between men and women, boys and girls, and claim that there's no sexes at all, only gender-fluid identities. Ginsburg listed hundreds of sexist words that must be eliminated from all statuses. Among words she found offensive were man, woman, man-made, mankind, husband, wife, mother, father, sister, brother, son, daughter, serviceman, longshoreman, postmaster, watchman, seamanship, and to man a vessel. And she wanted he, she, him, her, his, and hers to be dropped down the memory hole and replaced by he, she, her, him, and her, his. And federal statuses must use the bad grammar of plural constructions to avoid third-person singular pronouns. Is it any wonder the leftist universities are now uninhabitable by thinking people?
And you have no idea what it's like to be gay, to be a person of color, to know what it's like to live with institutional racism, sexism, homophobia, transphobia.
You are supporting Nazis. Do you
like
understand that?
Communism?
Yeah, I am.
Some schools, to protect sensitive students, offer them a special room called a safe space.
And if you wonder how it is that now New York State has passed into law the ability for a woman to get an abortion in the 9th month right up until the moment of birth, it was Ginsburg who condemned the Supreme Court ruling in Harris versus McRae and claimed that taxpayer-funded abortions should be a constitutional right. They don't want borders, they don't want family, but they're more than happy to allow women free abortions on demand in the 9th month. These truly are the traitors to our country. These are the people that want to destroy God's law and replace it with the law of man. And with the laws of man comes the tyranny of evil men and women like Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And now that President Trump has declared a national emergency to try to get a border wall built, it is the enemies of our country that will again make themselves known in their efforts to block the president's move to build a border wall to secure the sovereignty of our nation. And I'll leave you with this, which was sent to me from my friend Lewis over at Small Gold. It's Democrat Beto O'Rourke, who says if he could, he'd knock the existing wall down right now.
The border, but he is in Texas. Dan Crenshaw, who's a new member of Congress, he's been very outspoken in favor of the president's agenda on the border, particularly.
Right.
And he wanted to ask you, he tweeted this, so I'm just passing it along. It's not something he didn't text me. Would you, if you could, would you take the wall down now, here?
Yes.
Like you have a wall.
Absolutely.
Knock it down.
I'd take the wall down.
I'd take the wall down. They want to take all the walls down. It's what they specialize in. They want to take the walls down that separate men from women. They want to take the walls down that separate boys from girls. They want to take the walls down that separate adults having sex with children. It's why I made the video called 12 Perversions, because Tom DeLay warned us they want to fast track and legalize 12 perversions, including bestiality and pedophilia.
Congress, I just want to get this straight. So you are aware of a Justice Department memo that says there will be an effort to legitimize or legalize bestiality, pedophilia, and, as you put it, perversions?
That's correct.
So, as we part ways, I want you to remember that it was Ruth Bader Ginsburg who listed hundreds of sexist words that must be eliminated from all statuses, and among those words that she found offensive were man, woman, husband, wife, mother, and father. Is it any wonder we now have little boys like Desmond being paraded out on Good Morning America?
Desmond, you're one of the youngest and first drag queen/kids, and I've heard
and celebrated.
If the innocence is stolen from the children, there is nothing left to save. I can't believe that this kid at 2 years old said, "I'm a homosexual." A 2-year-old does not know what a homosexual is. This kid was coached. There's no ands, ifs, or buts about it. A 2-year-old should not know what sex is. A 2-year-old should not understand the meaning of sexual. If the innocence is taken from the children, there is nothing left to save.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for your support. And for real news 24/7, visit us at sgtreport.com, thephaser.com, and thelibertymill.com. God bless. Bye-bye.
When you use Google, do you get more than one answer? Of course you do.
Yeah, of course.
Well, that's a bug. We have more bugs per second in the world. Because we should be able to give you the right answer just once.